All right, all right. Let's go ahead and get right into this. I did this with Best Loser Wins, and now I'm doing this with the Mental Game of Trading. This is my third time through this book, and actually, as I've done, as I build this series and I record this, that's gonna be four. All right, so fourth time through. This is just something I recommend to everybody, right? If you are serious about day trading, this is it, right? Now, this book isn't like a magic fix. Just read it and you'll become a better trader. It's more than that. You really want to take the principles that are in this book right here and you want to apply them to your trading. All right. And if you take this system and you apply it, it's going to make you a better trader. Okay. It's going to help you understand yourself better. And anyway, let's just dive right into this. Be patient with this series. This book unpacks a lot because it actually has a system that can be applied. And I'm going to share how I've applied that system, some things that I'm going to learn fourth time through that I'm still learning to apply. And I'm going to share openly and honestly, like what I've done. Like I just made two videos prior to this one that talk about some of the principles in here that helped me with a day that I went on tilt and, helping realize that I don't like I, I'm a FOMO trader, but not big green candle FOMO. I don't like missing out when like I have something else going on and I can't sit in front of the charts and trade, right? So if I'm gonna miss a day of trading, I have to deal with that like, oh man, I could have made money. Okay, that's the type of FOMO I deal with. But let's go ahead and dive right into this. Chapter one, Mental Game of Trading by Jared Tendler. Okay, highly recommended. I think it's jaredtendler.com. Go check it out. This is obviously just I'm not sponsored in any way. This is just me sharing what has helped me find success in day trading. Okay, chapter one summary. The problem: your emotions are in control. Can anyone relate? Okay, guys, I've talked to hundreds. I think I'm getting close up into the thousands of traders, right? Because I'm involved in communities and I do some consulting work with day trading and things. And I mean, I'm talking like broken keyboards, punching monitors, throwing things, getting angry. Like one dude had a punching bag next to his desk. I'm like, hey man, that's a healthier way of getting it out. Um, the problem is the emotions are in control, right? And we know that those that have day traded for any length of time, they understand that they do really well and then they lose it, and it's because of the emotion. All right, so in chapter one, Jared Tendler lays the groundwork for what separates struggling traders from consistent high performing ones. I would say I'm in the consistent realm and I'm trying hard to transfer into that super high performing, right? Because I do make money, but I want to make that like 6 7 figure break. But anyway, moving on. And it has nothing to do with technical skill. This is so true. What I'm about to read, guys, is so true. It's your ability to manage your emotions in real time. All right. I made a video where I did that. Tender points out that most traders have the knowledge and the strategy they need to succeed. I'm going to read that one more time. Tender points out that most traders have the knowledge and strategy they need to succeed. They know the rules: cut losses, let winners run, stick to the plan. But in the heat of the moment, when money is on the line, those rules go out the window. Why? Because emotions hijack decision making. We are wired this way. That's the way we're built. Our brains have a defense mechanism, right? They save us from pain and they help us to they protect us, right? Our brain protects us. Our emotions are a good thing. We need to understand the emotions in real time and how that affects our decisions in the market. Okay, guys, I have worked with so many traders who blame their plan, and that's why you have strategy hoppers. Okay, I'm just telling you, this is what happens. Okay, they find a strategy, it works, they start to lose, which every strategy out there is going to have a losing streak. As soon as they have that losing streak, emotions like flare, they get out of control, they go on tilt, they blow it, then they go hunt down the next strategy. Okay, how do I know that? Because you're looking at someone who did it. Okay, many, 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 many times. Sometimes I would just tweak my strategy because I'm like, oh, something's wrong. I go and look at a loss. I'm like, how could I have made that a win? What? That's the worst advice. you could ever say to someone is to go back and look at your loser and see how you could have made that a winner. You can't do that. Go back and look at your loser. Did you follow your plan? Yes, I did. Okay, so that's a expected loss. Move on. You did the right thing. Okay. Anyway, I don't want to get too sidetracked, but I'm just telling you, it's so true. If you're watching this video and you're dedicating any amount of time to this, like, especially watching some rando because you think it'll help you, you probably already have enough knowledge to be successful. Okay. All right. Um, the mistake many traders make is thinking the problem is their system and their market read. But more often than not, the issue is emotional interference, fear, greed, tilt, hesitation, and overconfidence that clouds a judgment and sabotages execution. I have been way up on an account. I get overconfident, and then that overconfidence leads me into making decisions I shouldn't make, which then leads me into like being emotional because I did something I shouldn't have over and over again. And then I start spiraling into tilt and revenge trading and FOMO. And before I know it, I've either given all of it away or blown that account, or I've taken 5 days of wins and just erased it. Does it sound familiar to anybody? All right. He introduces a key concept. You don't lack skill. You lack access to your skill when it matters most. All right. So if you think about that, okay, you don't lack skill, but you lack access to your skill when it matters most. When things heat up, your emotions take over and it hijacks your decision making. All right. And the real mission of the book is to give you a systematic method for mapping, diagnosing, and removing the emotional blockage to prevent you from trading at your best. Okay. One of the things he talks about, which we're going to go in great detail, okay, is your A game, your B game, and your C game. And in another video, I'm going to talk about how you define your A game, how you define B and C, right? Obviously, guys, C is not as good as A. All right. Just in case you missed that. I'm joking. A game. You slept well. You feel good. You're in control. Your emotions are, just kind of normal. They're kind of flat. You don't feel anxious or anxiety. You don't feel any of that. You're approaching the markets with a clear mind and your strategy in mind, and you're ready to go. That's your A game. C game, didn't sleep good. Already thinking about yesterday's loss and how to get it back, right? You're already going into the market and expecting, a good day so that way you can make up for your loss or whatever, right? Okay. That's the kind of stuff he's talking about. This book gets to the root of those kinds of thoughts. And this one is probably one of the most impactful I've read. Okay. So it's going to help you to access your skills when it matters most. Like I shared a video because I went on tilt, right? And I had a really bad day, and I was in that mode where I was just going to go ahead and risk it all on the next trade. Like, I'm going to make back what I lost, or I'm going to lose everything, right? And I remembered his book, and I thought about it, and I said, am I being the trader I want to be? I said, even if, because I'm a really good revenge trader, guys. I'm very good at it, but I don't want to do that anymore. Okay. Am I being the trader I want to be? And I said, no, I'm not. So I stopped and I moved forward. Okay. And I took the loss. It was a big loss. It should have been like $600, but it ended up being like 1,200 or 1,100 or, 1,300 or something like that. It was wild. It's twice what it should have been. And I was ready to throw the rest of the drawdown on the table and throw the dice. That's not okay. And especially because I was on tilt, I was not even looking for an appropriate setup. All right. Okay. So the real mission of the book is to give you a systematic method for mapping, diagnosing, and removing emotional blockages that prevent you from trading at your best. Okay. Instead of using temporary hacks like motivational quotes or brute force, Tendler approaches it like debugging code. Get to the root of the cause and fix it from the source. This is how you build a permanent, solution to inconsistent performance. And this is what I've seen. I have seen an improvement in my consistent performance. Now, do I still go on tilt? It's pretty rare, but I think when I do, I'm just going to post it. I'm just going to make a video about it and share it as an encouragement out to people. Do I still maybe take a revenge trade? Sure, it happens. Okay. Do I still maybe put too much on a trade or not enough or whatever, right? Out of fear. Yeah, that's going to happen. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to refer back to the book. I'm going to refer back to my system that he helped me create through his book. And I'm going to apply that logic to my emotions. It's going to help me, like decloud the emotions, right? Help me see through my emotions to the logic that I need to be successful. So I am all right. Let's just keep going. Let's keep going here. Key takeaways. All right, this one's huge. It spoke to me very, very personally. You're not broken. Okay. Emotional responses are signals, not signs of weakness. Okay. Let that sink in a little bit, right? Emotions are normal. It's a response that we're built with. It's the way we're wired. Our brain is wired to, escape pain, right? And to protect us. And the market can be a place of, discomfort and sometimes a place of pain, right? And we got to be willing to handle that. And we need to differentiate between emotional decisions and logical decisions, right? Because we can't eliminate emotion. We just can't. All right. But you can learn to control it. And if you can learn to control your emotions, it helps you to understand like why you're making a decision, right? If I'm break even in a trade because I'm scared it's going to return and I'm going to, have a loser, then that's probably not a good reason. Now, if we sweep a liquidity and I'm in profit and, like there's a potential for a turnaround because time-based liquidity has been swept, then maybe it is time to close in that trade. But there's a big difference between I'm scared and we swept liquidity. We might the trade might turn around on me here. Those are two very different reasons to break even a trade or take profits or whatever, right? So you can't eliminate your emotions, but you can learn to control it. All right, you can learn to understand your emotions. And I think that's what I've gotten a lot out of this book is understanding myself as a day trader. So consistency comes from emotional control, not just great entries. Okay, a lot of times we just want to fall back on fix my strategy, fix my strategy. If I fix my strategy, I won't have an emotional problem. I disagree with that. I disagree. I've myself have been given the golden strategies. I've given the golden strategies to people, and emotional control is what it is, right? Until you learn to control it, it's out of control. Okay, so excuse me, I can get the best entry and still have an emotional control problem. All right. He also says the biggest gap in your performance, not more strategy, it's more self mastery. The more you learn who you are in the market, man, I'm telling you, that's everything, right? If I know that I am famous for FOMOing, that's something I can work on. I can learn to understand where that comes from, like logically. What am I afraid of? Am I afraid of watching others get W's? There's days that I take an L and other people take big W's. And then there's a day that I take big W's and they took L's. That's because our strategies are a little different because we're different traders. Nothing wrong with that. And it took me a while to learn that. So, action steps. Okay. Seriously, if you when people ask me, I mean, I'm not some 6 7 figure trader, but when people ask me how did you go from blowing accounts to making money, it was this. It was taking action steps. It was doing the stuff nobody wants to do. Nobody wants to map their emotions. Ugh. Anyway, all right. Start tracking your emotions. At the end of the trading day, ask what emotions showed up today. What triggered them? Did they help or hurt my performance? Okay. Sometimes emotion can be good. All right. Write it down. You're building awareness. Step one to control. You don't even have to try and fix it at that moment. You're not here just to like fix, hit a button. You're fixed. Yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice to Matrix, plug in, and just become like, millionaire, billionaire day trader overnight, right? That'd be great, but that's not realistic. Okay. So write it down, become aware, because building awareness is step one of control. All right. Here's one I had to really Really let sit. Don't judge your flaws, observe them. Flaws are okay. All right. Everyone has flaws. Every day trader has flaws. The 7-figure traders that I talk to and the 6-figure traders I talk to, they have flaws. I've actually seen them live and been like, they're making a fear decision right now. And then later they posted, hey, you know, it was still a good trade or still this or whatever, because in that moment they still made some profit, but they were like, I left a lot on the table because I moved my stop out of fear and not out of structural, logic. Happens to all of us. So don't judge yourself over it. The more you judge yourself, the more pressure you put on yourself. The more pressure you put on yourself, the more you make an emotional decisions, right? Because you're trying to escape that pressure. All right. Every time you hesitate, overtrade, don't move a stop, don't beat yourself up. Seriously, it's not as a big a deal as you think it is. It's the awareness of it, right? Talk to yourself about it. Man, I must talk to myself a lot, but just think about it, write it down, become aware of it. All right. And then this is really, really, really important. What emotion drove that action? When I went on tilt, is because I hate being wrong. And I was wrong, wrong, wrong. And I'm like, I need to be right. Therefore, I will double down and become right. The funny part was is I was right. And I managed the trade wrong because I had other emotions that were driving other behaviors. I just took note, right? I made a video on that. If you don't want to go watch it, that's fine. All right, this is how you start mapping your own mental game. When you start to understand, you start to map and understand who you are and your mental, right? As you're a day trader, this is going to change. This will change you for the better. Okay, so let's go ahead and refrain from setbacks as feedback. Blown into count, revenge trade, big mistake. Instead of quitting or spiraling, say, this shows me what I still need to work on. I made that video about tilt. Okay, I'll try and remember to add one of those card things, but go watch that video. I was doing great, got a payout, count was up, it was just climbing. And then one day I just went on tilt, which I don't do that often, but it happened. And I journaled it and, worked through it. The next day I came in fresh because of the journaling and ready to do the right thing and started climbing right back up. So go check out that video. But I didn't want to judge myself too much. I just wanted to be aware of what happened, why it happened, process the emotional decisions I made, and whatever, right? So this shows me what I need to work on. Obviously, I do need to keep an eye out for tilt. It is rare, but if I can see it coming, I can stop it. All right. That mindset shift turns pain into progress. Pain is what we run from. Okay. Our brains do not like pain or discomfort. You read Tom's book, he talks about that's why a lot of people take profit when they're in profit. I know that sounds silly, but they take profit too early, is what I'm saying, because they want to secure the W and they can't handle the discomfort of the thought of it turning into a losing trade after being green. All right. You got to have the logic. Did I hit my targets? Am I seeing this? Did the market give me a reason to take profit and get out? If it did, yes, get out. If it doesn't, and you're just doing it out of fear, okay. But you won't know unless you start to, write this down. Think about these things. Have conversations with yourself about it. All right. So he talks about creating a victory statement. Write this down and read it before each trading session. The market isn't my enemy, guys, especially, excuse me, if you're trading prop firms, the market doesn't even know you exist. Okay, prop firms are virtual trading. They're not connected to the market. Market makers don't see you go in and go, hey, let's go get this guy. It is not personal, especially with prop firms. All right, now if you're trading millions of dollars and you're buying in through an actual broker, sure, you can convince me that it might come after you. Probably way more than millions, okay? So the market's not your enemy. My emotions are, okay? I am here to follow my process, not chase outcomes. I'm not chasing money. I'm not chasing W's. I'm not chasing feel good, okay? Talk about that in other videos where you have a bad day. So you turn to trading because you think you can get a W and that'll make you feel better. Man, don't do that. Don't do that. When you come to the market, you come emotions in control and process being the goal, right? You are here to follow a process. You are not here to chase your emotions or outcomes or W's or money. I'm telling you, everyone I talk to that makes any significant amount of money in this industry, and I have hunted down and bothered them to the point where they'll talk to me. Many traders, they chase process. They don't chase money. They don't chase outcomes. All right. I win by being consistent, not perfect. That's huge. Okay. That is so huge. You're not going to be perfect. You're always going to be like, I could do better. I could do better. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just work the process. And you might need to put things in your process that will help you to be more consistent, right? To make the FOMO decision less. Okay. So I used to have a problem like when I say FOMO, I don't mean big green candle. I mean, I need to trade today because if I trade, I'll have a W because I do win a lot of the days I trade. So I feel like there's, a W waiting for me. So if I have something else going on or I need to shift my, you know, um, production outside of day trading and I can't day trade, it's like I get that FOMO and I'm like, oh, dude, if I was in, I know I'd get a W. I had to work on that. I had to work on that. And that's a challenge a lot of people go through. And I've told people take a week, don't trade, just watch the market and look for your process, practice your process mentally, but don't trade. It is so hard, man. It is so hard. Anyway, I will be consistent, or I will win by being consistent, not perfect. Okay, there are no perfect traders. Okay, here we go. Encouragement. If you've blown accounts, frozen in trades, or let emotion wreck you, you are the only one in the whole world that's ever done that. I don't think so. Everyone I've talked to, every successful trader I've talked to, every unsuccessful trader I've talked to has done all these things. Okay, everybody's frozen, not been able to trade, to watch a trade play out, and they were too fearful to enter, and they were like, oh, they just like, they're so distraught because they couldn't enter. So what? Write it down, talk about it, write down your feelings on why you were afraid. So write that down. Figure out where that fear is coming from. Maybe that fear is coming from trades in the past. That's because you're too focused on the outcome and not the process. Okay? You let emotions wreck you, right? How many times? I just went on tilt the other week. It'd been I don't even know months since I've been on tilt, and I go on tilt. I had to emotionally dig myself out of there and be like, okay, I went on tilt, I made some bad decisions. Let's move on. And the next, just started climbing right back up, making profits. I'm actually going to look at pulling a payout today. It's not going to be very much because of that. That's okay. I'm going to take what I get. All right. You're not alone. Okay. In this kind of stuff. Blown accounts, especially if you're prop firm trading, guys, it's a casino and they design it that way. It's designed to be hard. I can help you with that process. There's a lot of people that can help you with that process. So just know that you're not alone. Okay. This is a hard industry, very hard industry. All right. That's a part of every great trader's journey. All right. Seriously, I have some connections and they all talk about how hard this was up and coming. Usually, the harder the story they have, the more successful they are on the other side. Some of the hardest stories I've heard, they're some of the most successful traders I've ever heard of. Okay. There must be something to it. All right. This book is your turning point. Okay. You're not just trading charts anymore. You are now trading with awareness. And that makes you dangerous in a good way. Market makers, if they knew, they would ban this book. They would do some crazy book burning. All right. I'm not saying this book is like the end all be all. There are some great books out there. This one, I love it because it gives you a system to follow, right? And who are we as day traders? We are system followers. We are process oriented people. That's why we hunt down strategies left and right. Okay. If you're strategy hunting, please stop. Find one strategy that resonates well with you and trade that strategy like crazy and stick with it and work on you as a trader. I know guys who trade EMAs. I know guys who trade patterns. I know guys who trade flags. I have a guy I'm connected to. He trades the standard flags and market patterns that we all make fun of. And he is a easygoing, bored, easy six-figure trader every year, no problem. And he trades at six figures because that's all he wants. He's retired. Okay, legit. I have spent. He's a mentor. All right, goes unnamed because he asked to be. Okay, trades flags, bro. Anyway, uh, all right. So going to make you dangerous. When you are aware of who you are as a trader, it's going to make you dangerous in a good way. All right. You're going to be able to 007 this market. All right. Not be perfect. Okay. What did it say? I win by being consistent, not perfect. Okay. Stay in the fight. Trust the process. This is where champions are made. Okay. I know this is silly, but I'm telling you, this is what it is. If you want to stay in this fight long term. And a lot of people I've talked to are 2, 3, 4, 5 years in, they're still unsuccessful and they're on the breaking point. And I'm telling you, the breaking point is stuff like this because they know enough to be profitable. But when you talk to them, it's always tilt, FOMO, greed, fear. It's all that kind of stuff, right? Focused on the outcome and not the process. And the few that I've been able to work with, and it's actually been quite a few, and you start to turn their mindset around, and I point them to resources like this, things start to change. It doesn't mean they're fixed overnight, but they start to notice a difference pretty quickly. So I am very impressed with this book. I do have a connection with Jared Tendler. It's a professional connection. I'm involved in a community that he's in. I've had some great conversations with him. He is the real deal when it comes to performance like based um like anxiety, fear, greed. Like, he deals with professional poker players, professional day traders, golfers, sports psychology. In my opinion, he's the real deal. So if you're serious about becoming a day trader and becoming a consistently profitable day trader, this book is not going to fix you, but it's going to give you the skills and abilities and the opportunity to fix a lot of things that you may not even realize that are broken, that can help you become more consistently successful. And wow, that was a mouthful. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to work on keeping these a little shorter. This was just an introduction to chapter 1. So go ahead and, in my opinion, go grab the book. I don't get any kind of a cut. I don't care about that. Just go get the book. And jaredtendler.com even has like downloadable sheets and worksheets that you can go to. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description, and those are free. You can go to his website. You can look at your A game, B game, inchword method. All kinds of stuff that we're going to get into as I make these. But like I said, please be patient with me. This is not just a read through book. There's a lot of work that I'm going to be doing on the ground, journaling and building out things that I have done in the past, but I am redoing because it's been a little while, and I'm dealing with different issues than I did the first time or second time or third time I've been through this book. So I'm going to spend the time so that way when I make these videos and I share them with you, I'm going to be as extremely authentic as I can, so that way you can see how I apply this to my day trading. So hopefully you can do the same and start being successful. Anyways, drop a like for me if you've made it this far, and share this out with someone you think it will help. And I will see you guys in the next video.